your home for original reporting.
I'm Stacey Lynn in Washington. Are we finally turning a corner on COVID?
COVID case counts are coming down steeply in the Northeast. CDC Director Dr. Rochelle Walensky calls it an optimistic trend, but she says now is not the time to step away from mitigation measures.
We still are at extraordinarily high levels of disease in almost all of the places, even in areas where cases are starting to come down.
But Dr. Anthony Fauci says the aftermath of Omicron could leave the country with a new baseline.
That is a level of what we call adequate control,
where normal life isn't disrupted. Stephen Portnoy, CBS News, Washington.
In November, President Biden had issued a vaccine mandate for federal employees. Today, a judge in Texas has ruled against it. Legal analyst Lori Levinson.
Ultimately, I do think that this case goes to the Supreme Court, where they have to decide, is this more like when they struck down the mandate for private employers, or more like when they upheld the mandate for those in the Medicare system?
The judge also blocked the government from disciplining those who failed to comply. In some parts of the country, ice is the weather story this weekend. CBS meteorologist David Parkinson says they're not used to that.
It doesn't take a whole lot to really make the roads slick and impossible to drive on. So even if you don't have a huge amount of ice accumulation like we're expecting to see in South Carolina and in the Charleston area, could still be a massive travel headache.
The nation's biggest annual rally against abortion rights took place in Washington today. Our Natalie Brown with details.
On the eve of the 49th anniversary of Roe versus Wade, anti-abortion rights demonstrators marched in hopes it's the last time.
Brought here to support that all babies and all lives matter.
Emotions heightened across both sides of the issue as the new conservative Supreme Court considers the biggest challenge to Roe in decades, the Mississippi law banning abortions after 15 weeks.
An amazing survival story now in the aftermath of the massive volcano eruption in Tonga. Here's CBS's Jim Crisula.
We are learning about a 57-year-old retired carpenter who survived being afloat for 26 hours. The man was washed away after a tsunami hit his home after an undersea volcano erupted 40 miles from Tonga in the South Pacific. The man was eventually able to swim to an island and call for help.
Markets ending the trading week in the red. The Dow closed down 450 points. Nasdaq down 385. S&P with its worst week since March 2020, off 85 points at the close. This is CBS News.
Get CBS News Radio on the Odyssey app. All the audio that matters to you is on Odyssey.
Today's news. I didn't hear any good news, did you? I didn't think so. I guess it's all about perspective. The glass is half full. Well, as always, I want to thank you again for coming along with me on these Dash Cam News adventures. You know the drill. Peace, love, and all that hippie jazz. Bye-bye, everybody.